Hello to all the learners out there. I welcome you all to the beginning of a new subject and hope the journey is going to be a successful one. The subject you're going to study is information technology and its implementation. The course objective is to help the students to understand and be able to design the concepts and technologies used for using computers in IT. Emphasis is going to be given to understand the way technologies develop and how do they generate business values. The course will also have special emphasis on virtualization and cloud computing and mobile technologies. Beginning with the first lecture, we shall study about Introduction to Information Technology. But first things first. Let us start from the very basic and get to know about what is data and information and what are the basics of IT. What is data? This is the very first question that is to be answered. Our whole world is made up of small bits and pieces of information, and it constitutes anything. Anything like numbers, words, pictures, sounds, videos, which simply exist as it is. If we talk about numbers, then there can be a series of numbers, a percentage, a grade in the form of CGPA, numbers collected for a company, etc., which form data. Data in the form of words can be alphabets or words here and there, yet just a collection which has not made any meaning as yet. Pictures as data can have pieces of images, small, big, uncollected, and do not give any clarity. Videos, on the other hand, have frames. Each video is made up of frames which, unless combined together, do not make any sense. Now we have seen many forms of data like numbers, images, etc. Now the question arises is, what do we get from this data? When the data gets together, it starts making sense. Hence, any data which when combined together, structured and organized, and therefore makes sense and provides some knowledge, is what we call as information. For example, numbers can be played with. Numbers, when processed and become meaningful, they can be represented in the form of graphs, charts, average scores, report cards, etc. And words have power. Words, when combined together, make sentences and paragraphs. For example, words like Samir, book, is, a, holding. These are simple words, would make a sentence, Samir is holding a book, after processing. And it constitutes information because the sentence is giving some knowledge. It makes sense, is organized and structured. Can you make such more sentences on your own? Just try them out. Pick up a set of words which are jumbled. Now arrange them together and you would see when they make sense, they give us some information. Plus, pictures can speak. When combined together, they would make a complete picture, such as in the given example. The data we had was in bits and did not make much sense. However, when all these bits are combined together, they make an organized and structured picture. You can see the result here. The bits and pieces of images have been assembled together and you can see what is happening. Babies are playing and eagles are flying and the fire is burning. Also, videos can move. The frames of the videos which made up the data, when combined together, would make a video clip, which is a movie. Now these movies can be of any kinds. An animated movie like Kung Fu Panda, or an entertainment movie like Avatar, or a documentary like Gandhi. Let's just look and play this video clip.
IBM's Watson is at the forefront of a new era of computing, cognitive computing. It's a radically new kind of computing, very different from the programmable systems that preceded it, as different as those systems were from the tabulating machines of a century ago. Conventional computing solutions, based on mathematical principles that emanate from the 1940s, are programmed based on rules and logic intended to derive mathematically precise answers, often following a rigid decision tree approach. But with today's wealth of big data and the need for more complex, evidence-based decisions, such a rigid approach often breaks or fails to keep up with available information. Cognitive computing enables people to create a profoundly new kind of value, finding answers and insights locked away in volumes of data. Whether we consider a doctor diagnosing a patient, a wealth manager advising a client on their retirement portfolio, or even a chef creating a new recipe, they need new approaches to put into context the volume of information they deal with on a daily basis in order to derive value from it. This process serves to enhance human expertise. Watson and its cognitive capabilities mirror some of the key cognitive elements of human expertise, systems that reason about problems like a human does.
Since it is known now what is data and information, we need to know what all tools are required in order to use data and process it, get information, and then share it. This whole process is accomplished using several tools which include both hardware and software and types of computers used, operating systems. Once the infrastructure is set up, we can get to know where the information is to be shared on which kind of network, and whether it is secure to share it or not. All the above would be covered in detail as the syllabi goes by.